Hey, what's up Blender users, I'm Jonathan, and in today's video I'll talk about retargeting animations to any rig. I already talked about Lego renders in Blender, and now I wanted to find a way to easily and naturally animate characters. Of course, what comes to mind are Mixamo animations, but the problem is that we cannot rig a Lego character the way Mixamo would do it. So we need an own rig to which we can transfer Mixamo animations. What I'll talk about today is applicable to any kind of situation, meaning you don't have to have a Lego model to work with. And with all of that said, let's get started. To retarget animations to any rig, we need three things. First of all, we need a static armature that we want to animate. Then we also need a base, which is an animated armature from which we want to take the animation data. And to actually retarget the animation, we need the Rococo Studio Live add-on, which you can download for free from the link in the video description. Even though the name of the add-on might not suggest it, we get this retargeting toolbox right here, which takes the animated armature as a source and a static armature as the target. Okay, so let's create our target armature. Again, I'm using this Lego character for this tutorial, but you can use any character you like. Having this Lego character just provides us with a bit more of a challenge because we actually have some restriction. You wouldn't be able to rotate the arm like this, so we'll need to use some constraints. To get a base rig, which we can modify, let's press F4 and go to Preferences. And in the Add-ons tab, let's search for Rigify. And once enabled, it allows us to go under Armature and add in a basic human rig. And we of course want to scale it down. So let's do this until it's about the size we need. Now I want to change some settings before we actually start modifying the rig. You can see right now it is hardly visible, so let's go to the Object Properties panel, under Viewport Display, and let's choose In Front. This way we can see the rig at all times. Now let's go into Edit mode and enable X-axis mirror right here. Now everything will be mirrored on the X-axis. Great. You can also see that there are way too many bones for this rig. So let's delete all of the bones we do not need. I am only keeping these few bones because they are all we need. We need a head bone to control the head, a spine bone to control the base of the character, an arm bone to control the arm, a hand bone for the hand, and a thigh bone for the leg. Now these bones are rotated on a very specific point, and of course this point should be the rotation axis of the corresponding part. So let's place all of these bones correctly. For this we can go into wireframe mode and place these bones. Again, with numpad 1 and 3 you can change from front to side view. Great, and just like this we have the leg bones positioned correctly. Let's do the same things for all of the other bones. Okay, great, and now I have all of the bones in place. We can already see that if I go into pose mode, every single bone is parented to the spine bone, which is great, but not what we need for the leg bones. So in Edit mode, let's select the leg bone and under Relations right here, clear the parent. Because we'll actually use constraints to later adjust the bone's position. Now, before we add all of the constraints, let's parent the different parts to our armature. So in the outliner, select everything and then Shift select the armature. Now we can choose Ctrl P and parent it with automatic weights. Now if we select the armature and go into pose mode, you can see that we can move our character, but it looks really wrong. So let's quickly fix the vertex groups. We have to do this one by one, so I'll quickly show you how to do this for one part. The hair should be controlled by the head bone, which is named spine.006. So let's select the hair and delete every vertex group except the one we need. Now let's go into Edit mode, press A to select everything, and then assign everything to spine.006. We can do the same thing for the head because this is also controlled by the same bone. Now, if I select the head bone and rotate it, you can see that this works fine. We want to do the same thing for all of the other parts of the body. The main part is controlled by only the spine bone, so let's again delete everything else and assign every single vertex to this vertex group. And let's repeat this for the other parts. Great, and with all of that done, we should now be able to just go into pose mode and now control our character. Okay, now we can add constraints. Why do we need constraints? Well, we can see that this bone should only be controllable on the x-axis. Now again, this should only be controllable on the x-axis. If we would go ahead and animate it by hand, we know this, so